morning everyone, and welcome here to this two-day teaching event on the Heart Sutra. Just before we get into that, just a few logistic things. Hopefully you all have a copy of this, which is what we're going to be following this weekend. The schedule for this weekend will be that we'll have 5 sessions today. So the first session now will go until 10:45, and then we'll have half an hour tea break till 11:15, and then the second session this morning will be 11:15 to 12:30, and then we'll have 1 hour lunch break from 12:30 to 1:30. And then we've got 3 sessions, 3 1-hour sessions in the afternoon, 1:30 to 2:30, afternoon tea break till 3, 3 till 4, and then 4 to 4:30 tea break, and then 4:30 to 5:30. So we'll finish today at 5:30. Tomorrow we have the same schedule in the morning. The first session will be at, again like now, starting at 9:30 till 10:45, morning tea break. And then 11:15 to 12:30, and so again, and then again after lunch from 12:30 to 1:30. Then we'll have another session 1:30 to 2:30. Again a break till 3 o'clock, and then the last session at 3:30 Dharma friends will be giving a sort of a wrap-up talk, and then following that I'll be giving my last session, and so we're planning to finish at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So that's the schedule for tomorrow. And to sort of maximize the benefit we get from this weekend, we're going to be running both days in silence, meaning that of course hopefully you've all switched off your mobile phones, or at least put them in flight mode now. And so we'll be running silence from the beginning of the first session till the end of the last session in the day. If you really need to make a call or talk to someone, please move away from this area here, meaning the other side of the car park. So over the back, I think behind, is some open area in the fields and trees. So there's one road, I think, here going down, and down the end there's another one going out. So if you go out the back there, if you have to make any call or speak to anyone, that's fine. But keep this whole area here in silence, and then I think you'll find you'll get much more benefit out of both of these days. Now, what's the subject matter that we're going to be following this weekend? Of course, the text that we're following is the Heart Sutra, and the subject matter, the main subject matter in the Heart Sutra, of course, is emptiness. Emptiness in Sanskrit is shunyata, and emptiness is describing how things exist. So why do we need to study emptiness? Is that the Buddhist assertion is that the root of cause of all of our mental afflictions and suffering is our distorted view of reality. So that if we want to overcome mental afflictions such as attachment, anger, jealousy and so on, and all the suffering that produces, we need to come to realize the nature of reality. This topic of emptiness is very subtle, not so easy to understand. So what I would recommend, some advice for this weekend, is not to have the expectation that by the end of the weekend you'll have a good idea about emptiness, what that means. I think if we have this expectation, probably we're going to have a lot of frustration this weekend, because it's a very subtle topic, not easy to understand. So therefore, if whatever we pick up this weekend, be happy with that. What we don't understand, then next time you hear this topic, you'll understand a little bit more. Because probably what's going to happen for many of you this weekend is I'll say something and you'll go, yeah, I understand that. And then I'll keep talking and then you go, I don't understand anything. And then I'll keep talking more and you go, oh, now I really understand. And then I'll keep talking more and you go, oh, I'm completely lost. I don't know anything. If this is your experience, very good. It means you're thinking about the topic and then you're not just sort of mouthing the words. So again, no expectation is the best. Whatever you pick up, be happy with that. What you don't understand, next time you hear the topic, you'll understand a little bit more. This is a topic you'll need to listen to, reflect on, and meditate many, many, many times before we get a clear appreciation of what really emptiness is. And like all practices, in this practice, there are 3 stages to the practice. And for this, I like to use the Tibetan words because they're very short. The first stage is go, and go in Tibetan means intellectual. So first, we need to get an intellectual understanding of emptiness. We need to listen to some teachings and think about it to get an intellectual idea of what emptiness is. But merely gaining an intellectual understanding of emptiness is not going to change our life, because our behaviour is not driven by our intellectual understanding. It's driven by our instinctive habits. So in fact, we could be the smartest Buddhist scholar in the world and be completely miserable. So intellectual understanding is the starting point. It gives us a clear framework for practice. Because if we don't gain this, then what are we practicing? What are we meditating on? How do we interpret our experiences? We have no framework for practice. So we need an intellectual understanding as a framework. But then, of course, we need to bring that intellectual understanding into experience through meditation. We need to come to experience emptiness in meditation. And so that is nyam, which means taste or experience. And so if we can have a little experience of emptiness in meditation, that can have a very profound effect on our mind. And that effect could last a little bit outside of the meditation. And as long as that experience affects our mind outside of meditation, you're going to notice quite a change in your life. Your mental afflictions will be much less. Your mind will be more calm. You'll feel much closer and connected to others. But that'll wear off and we'll go back to our normal habits. So what we want to do is we need to stabilize that experience to make it longer lasting. That's the third stage, called tok, or in English, realization. So we need to, in meditation, with a very calm, clear, focused mind, we need to penetrate the nature of reality fully. We need to come to directly realize emptiness, how things exist. That is a very stable experience that will stay with us, and therefore will really transform our lives. So these are the stages that we go through in this practice, and in fact in any practice. And so what we're going to do this weekend, of course, is we're mainly going to be working on improving our intellectual understanding of emptiness. But of course, at the same time, we're going to be doing meditation sessions this weekend to start to try to bring this into experience. So this is the main emphasis this weekend: gain a better intellectual understanding, and at the same time introduce a little bit of meditation so we know how at least to move from here to here. So that's what we're going to be covering this weekend in terms of practice. So then, before we start to have a look at the Heart Sutra, we'll start with a short meditation, 15 minutes, just to relax the body, relax the mind, and setting a good motivation.